Hey,
Hey, hello, hello.
hello. Here we are. We're all quiet.
Here we
Look at us.
are. We're all quiet. Well, welcome to Creative Amplifiers. It's a show that celebrates all of the Ecamm content creators, and you get to hear their stories, their insights, their tips, and maybe a few fun facts about them. And if this show looks a little bit different, if you've been watching it, I'm all alone. Well, these two fellows are in Portugal having a grand time by your Instagram.
Well, Neil was feeling a bit lonely. It seems a long way away, Portugal, so I decided I'd come and keep him company for 2 or 3 days. And technically, we're working, so I thought it'd be a good idea to little home from home, little trip over, do a stream together, and get the party started in real life.
Exactly. And using the power of Ecamm, we're able to do that. And we're going to mix it up a little bit by showing you how we're splitting our cameras and things. But so much fun. So, yeah, it's very nice to have you here today. Last night as well. I'm getting tearful already. I'm welling up. So let's not go down that. Exactly.
Well, you guys look like you're having fun on Instagram.
We do try. Yes. And the weather's been kind to us. So, yeah, exactly.
It costs you a lot of money to learn what I normally learn here.
I know. Poor Lisa is living under a cloud of torrential rain at the moment, so hopefully everybody's safe over in the pond.
I might need a rowboat. I'm in the desert right now near Palm Springs, but I live in LA, and that is a hot mess right now. But I'm safe. I'm with my guys. We're having fun, and we have today. Who do we have on the show today? We all know.
We have on this show today.
We know who we have. We have the most wonderful Katie Fawkes here today. And she is, as you know, head of marketing from Ecamm. And let's just bring Katie on because I have a lot of questions to ask her. Will do. Hey, Katie.
Hey. Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be hanging out here today. There you go, Lisa. I'm also remote, so the two of us can just cry together that we're not in Portugal.
I know. It's okay. I forgive you guys.
Doesn't sound like it, does it?
No, it doesn't sound like it at all. So we have a comment already. So we would just like to say hello to. Marcus is so tiny down there.
Hey, Marcus. There you are.
People, there you go. It keeps changing. Sorry about that. There you go. Hey, Marcus, thank you for joining us today for the people. He's so happy you're here, Katie. Look. Yes. There he is.
I'm happy to be here too.
I know. Excellent.
Awesome. So, Katie, we're going to just jump right in there. We all know, like I said, you are marketing director at Ecamm, but you're also co-host of not one, but two podcasts. You're a content creator, you're an educator. I don't know how you juggle it all. You have a family. But maybe tell us a little bit about, how you ended up, in marketing and doing what you do now.
Oh my goodness. How did I end up in marketing? It's a great question. How did I end up here? I actually went through school for English literature and ancient history of all things. And I fancied myself to be eventually in the world of publishing and writing. That was where I wanted to end up. And I worked in publishing for quite a while. And I ended up moving from the editorial side of things over to the marketing side of things and got a lot of opportunities in the copywriting and blogging spaces. And then this little thing called social media started taking off. And so I kind of quickly moved from doing just quote unquote blogging and copywriting over into doing social media as well. So most of my career has been in the marketing space. And I ended up at Ecamm mostly through my husband. So shout out to Dane for introducing me to Ken through Code and Circuit, which is a nonprofit that Ken runs here in Amesbury. And they were looking for someone to help out with marketings. And I was lucky enough to be there and to be able to help them and get introduced to the world of Ecamm. And now I've been with the team for just over 4 years, I think, at this point. So it's been a really fun ride.
Wow, it's amazing. We had the pleasure of being out there in Amesbury to be there for Creator Camp and see the inner workings of Ecamm. That was fun, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah,
was,
oh,
yeah.
definitely. And the coda space as well, that it was Ken who set it up, right? You mentioned, yeah,
Mhm.
that was awesome to see that and just to be in that side. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun, definitely.
I mean, how many sort of children sort of go through there on any sort of given week? It looked like there was a lot of space.
Oh my
so-
gosh. Yeah, a lot of them. And the space has expanded. So there was only, well, not only, but there was one main classroom space, and now there are two. So there's, even more classes running often. I don't know. I think the classes are like somewhere between 8 and 10 kids, and there's a number of different classes from like Lego robotics to various types of coding to there's a new Girls Who Code program that runs, and then a bunch of different robotics groups. So yeah, lots and lots of kids of all ages from elementary all the way up through to high school.
Cool.
I love it.
That's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So I would love to know, because now you are a podcaster, two podcasts.
Yep.
Trying to get one podcast going is a lot. You can talk a little bit. I know one is for, Ecamm is The Flow, which is a fantastic show. I've learned a lot from you guys. Thank you so much.
Yay. Oh, our
And
pleasure.
then you have the VHS Club podcast, which I have many, many questions about that, because
Sure.
that's your baby. I can tell that's your baby. So maybe talk a little bit about, The Flow and how that came about, and, how that is helping everyone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So if you haven't yet heard, so we've been doing the Flow video podcast for the last year and a half, which has been just such an awesome journey. And it started mostly to Doc. So to Doc Rock's credit, he was, major in helping us get that off the ground and running. We'd been talking a lot about, really being able to help video podcasters more and showing them the potential of recording and live streaming their podcast using Ecamm. And we thought, well, what better way to do it than to do our own video podcast, so we could actually like show people what's possible and work through some of the same challenges that people would be facing, and be able to talk through and kind of be really in touch with all of our friends who have been in the podcasting space for a really long time. So it gives us a lot of room to be able to, network with all kinds of podcasters and bring some really great experts on to be able to answer questions, and also to push all the buttons and test and practice stuff ourselves. So it's been a great and incredible learning experience for me. I had never done podcasting. I had certainly listened to tons of podcasts, and I had been taking copious notes from all of our podcasting experts and partners, and certainly from Doc. So it was great. Initially, the premise was like, well, Doc knows everything about podcasting, and I know nothing, so I can be the voice of the of our viewers to say, like, I'm going to ask all of the questions, and we'll bring on all the experts, and we'll pick Doc's brain every single week. And so I hope that everyone's learned a lot from it. I certainly have learned a ton from just being on the show and being introduced to all the different possibilities, and just talking through all of the different things that exist within the world of video podcasting each week has been great.
So I take it that's the catalyst of you starting your own, personal podcast, which you have with your friend Natalie.
Yeah.
And I'm always trolling everybody's shows. I heard you
I
say,
love that. Love it.
I heard you say that initially the concept was different. You might want to talk a little bit about that, of how you saw the show to begin with, but because of some minor constraints from YouTube, you wouldn't be able to do the show that way. So maybe talk a little bit about that and how you stayed flexible and evolved.
Yeah, so that show, which is a movie review podcast that we do on YouTube every week, was really spun out of the idea that we were spending every Thursday night. We used to jokingly refer to it as BFF night. So we had it like blocked off on the calendar, and we would watch movies together, and we would chat and just spend time together. Nat lives in Montreal, and I'm in the Boston area. So we just, we used to live literally across the street from each other for years and years and years. So it was kind of our virtual across the street time where we could digitally run back and forth towards each other and be able to just spend time together. And the more that we were spending that time together, the more that we were like, oh, it'd be really fun to do a show and to, bring other people into the conversation about these classic movies that are so like part of our childhood, part of our, overall experience. And initially we were like, oh, well, the show could be this concept where we could play we could roll the trailers for these movies, and then we could talk about whether or not the actual movie, was exactly like the trailer. Like, did the trailer do a good enough job in describing or showing off the movie? But we had a lot of questions about like whether or not you could roll trailers, with that like a copyright infringement. So we didn't end up doing that concept, and it ended up just being much more of a discussion and a full review show where we just talk through what our feelings are of the movie, how well it holds up, over the years since our memory of initially seeing it, or maybe we're watching it for the first time, and how well does a 90s movie hold up in 2024. And then we review it, and we review it with amount of potatoes instead of stars, which was our own silly way to approach it. So it's become a lot of fun, and it's a great way to just spend some time together and get to spend time with other people who we are getting to know better as they show up in the chat and contribute their own facts and thoughts and memories on the movies. It's been a lot of fun.
I love the potatoes, first of all. That's great. And it is interesting to see how things hold up, because a lot of things don't,
They
given
don't, yeah.
our new world we're in. But I'm curious, like, because you have a lot of moving parts going on, and you have to do a lot of research. What's like a typical production week to get a show like this up and out and
Oh my
live?
gosh. It's actually way less time than it probably seems. So,
Okay.
obviously there's a couple of hours of watching the movie itself where I'm usually, taking notes. Nat takes like detailed notes throughout the movie. She's constantly like, jotting down these like stream of conscious notes that we laugh about later. I take some notes, and then I'm normally doing research at the same time. So, diving into like the stories behind how the movies were made, and interesting facts and things along the way that we can share in the episode. And I usually do it honestly the day before or even the day of the episode, so it's really fresh in my mind, so I don't have to be constantly looking at or referencing notes. I have a pretty good memory, so if I've seen it pretty recently, then I can just have a discussion, and it feels much more fun and conversational to me than if I was looking at like a teleprompter or reading off notes. So there's a couple hours there. Because of Ecamm, it's really, really easy for me to actually set up the show itself. So the production time to build out each show is maybe 10 minutes, because it's literally just swapping out. We usually put like the cover of the VHS cover of the movie we're reviewing. But other than that, it's the same, it's the same overall designs and graphics that go into each scene. So we have, our countdown timer, and then the two of us on screen. And then we have our potato rating. So we put that up on screen. So I literally just drag and drop, the amount of potatoes up on screen. And then a final scene, which is the same every single week. So the actual changing of that or editing of that is pretty minimal week over week, which just makes it super easy. So, I mean, there have been times where I've completely forgotten and have set it up in the, 10-minute tech check before we go live. So it's not actually a huge time commitment. You can pull it off pretty easily. The biggest time commitment is watching the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, Mark, we were talking earlier. I'm sorry, Neil, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You brought up how we were all talking about how your flow is different, no pun intended, for your other show, but how your workflow is different, and how you actually shoot the show.
Mhm.
And Mark, you said it more eloquently than I'm saying it. The question you had.
Well, it was just the fact that obviously there you are in the Ecamm offices. You've got all the gear, and it's obviously it looks amazing, and we know that's the case. But then for those people who were kind of at home as well, different cameras, different lighting, different microphones. You want it to look a certain way. You want it to be sort of the image that you want to portray, but you do it in a different way. You're not taking all the gear from the office, or you haven't replicated the entire office there as well. And I've also got a slight follow-up to that too, is how different does it feel having a kind of a work podcast, professional in inverted commas, and a personal one? Does it feel different doing it as well?
Okay, so you're on Spaces. It's taken me a long time to get to that point, so thank you for the for the kind words there. When I'm here in this space, it definitely feels like a little bit more formal. And when I'm calling into meetings with this, people are always like, "Whoa, how are you doing that?" And a lot of it is, like you said, is just really great equipment matched with really great software. When I'm at home, I have a shared office space. So I share that room with my husband, who works at home often as well. And then my daughter, it's like also my daughter's craft room. So typically, like right off camera, there's a giant table with like art projects all over it, paint everywhere, and like things all over the floor. And I've gotten pretty good about keeping that space pretty minimal, because often, as I just said, I'm setting up for a show maybe 20 minutes before I go live. We do like a quick tech check before we go live, or we record an episode. And so I need to be able to just, turn things on really quickly and easily. So I use, for the most part, either my phone as a camera using an app called Camo, which makes it super easy. Or sometimes I'm using, these days I really have been loving my OBSBot Tiny 2, which is like a tiny PTZ camera. But again, it's like super small. It's literally called the Tiny. It's like this big. And so it attaches by magnet to the top of my computer. So it means that I literally can just like open my laptop. I have an MV7, a Shure MV7 microphone that plugs in by USB, and a camera. And so it doesn't take up a ton of space, but I still get pretty professional looking results. And and I can make the space work. I still need to mess, I think, a little bit more with the lighting in that space. That's probably the hardest part, but everything else works pretty easily. And then your follow-up question. Wait, remind me what it was. It slipped out of my head.
No,
I just said I had a great memory.
It was really the sense of the feel of doing a work podcast.
Oh, right.
The flow is a professional feel, as it were, and a personal one. Because I know for lots of us, sometimes a podcast in a live stream might be a passion project rather than a professional one as well. And sort of having the ability to do both at the same time. I'm sort of curious if they have a different feel for you.
I don't know if they do, to be honest. I feel like I'm lucky enough that I have a lot of fun on both of them. And there isn't a lot of overlap. So shout out, I see Dan hanging out here in the chat today. Dan is often, if not always, on my personal podcast as well in the live studio audience, which makes it really fun to kind of see the familiar faces back and forth. No, I think that both of them, and really even doing interviews like this, have gotten me significantly more comfortable on camera. And so now I think it's just trying to think through the content. When I'm doing the personal podcast, it's really more about like, spending time together and making sure everyone feels really included. On the work side of things, I am trying to keep at the back of my mind, remembering that people who are tuning into this, they probably have a little bit less time to spend. They really need to get the impact and the value out of the content that we're providing. So sometimes, and Doc and I are both really chatty. So sometimes I have to remind myself or think at the back of my head, like, okay, let's make sure that we are hitting the main points we need to hit so that people who are watching this now or listening to it later really get the value out of it that they need. And that the guests that we're bringing on and the content that we're focusing on is, as applicable and helpful as possible. But I think that's probably more the planning than the actual production side of it. It's just really making sure we're on target and on topic for that. Whereas with the movie reviews, we can literally pick the movie like while we're chatting at the end of the episode. We're like, okay, what are we going to watch next? It's a little bit more laid back in that front.
Love it.
So I just put a comment up there from Dan.
Exactly. Yeah. We could be a little sillier.
Nothing wrong with that. And your co-host Natalie, what does she use then? Does she use just a phone as well as a main camera and so on?
Her video quality often looks significantly better than mine, which drives me crazy sometimes. And she's using she has an even smaller I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like an M5. She's got a smaller Shure microphone, which is much cheaper than my MV7, and she sounds great. We're wearing the same headphones. She's got the same light, and she's got, I think she actually just uses her built-in camera on her computer. She's using Ecamm as well, but she's pretty. It's pretty minimal because she was like, I'm not a video person. She's much better at like makeup and lighting. Like she's like great at that part of it. So I think a lot of it has to do with lighting. She's just really good at figuring out exactly where her light is and making sure everything looks much better.
I think it's just testament though to as you said, the great software and just having like a run of show and just having a plan about what you want to do, because you don't have to have the best equipment, the best microphones, anything to pull off a show that's popular, that's informative and fun. And you guys are clearly, when we watch you, having so much fun, and that's the main part of it. If that comes across well on the video, then then you're doing the right thing. I did have a follow-up question about the VHS Club as well. Do you have, and it's a difficult question because you've watched so many films now, but you're not going to answer.
Oh no,
do you
is it
have
a favorite movie
favorite movie so to date, because you'll have a lot in your list coming up, I hope.
I don't.
So do you have one that's a standout that you've maybe rewatched and thought, wow, that really still stands up today? Put you on the spot.
I don't. I'm amazed at how many I do. I'm amazed at how many I still have memorized. That has been shocking to me. It was I think it was True Lies we watched, and I totally thought that I had seen it, and then watching it, I was like, oh, I never watched this. This is my first time watching it. So there's been some like fun moments like that, but no, I really struggle with that question because I feel like they each are like a favorite, quote unquote, for a different reason. Like I love them for very different specific reasons. So I probably have like a top 5 or a top 10, but definitely not a top 1.
Top 1. And could we just share with the people here your new website that you've just created? If you want to just talk people through that real quick, if I can just make sure I know which one it is. Hang on a second. There it is. So many scenes. You know, it's like, there you go. So this is your latest refreshed update of the VHS Club video podcast site.
Yeah, this one actually, this podcast never had a site because we use I use Spotify for as our podcast host for the VHS Club, mostly because we use Captivate at Ecamm, and I wanted to be able to see what the free options were like because Captivate is a paid tool, and so I was like, oh, well, Spotify doesn't really offer much in way of a website, so we definitely needed something. And actually someone in the and forgive me, I can't even remember who it was, but one of the Ecamm members suggested podpage.com as a website tool for podcast websites. And so I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And it was so easy to set everything up and had like all of the features that I was looking for. So yeah, I did the exact same thing with the Flow website. So if you're a podcaster and you're looking to get up and running with a really easy, really dynamic, feature-rich website tool, podpage.com is awesome. It lets you embed videos and you can have voicemails, which I love, and email sign up and everything in between.
That is cool. Yeah, and it looks really professional and it's a great landing page to let people sort of go to you and stuff. And yeah, it looks really good. Cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
Katie, with all your experience in video podcasting, if someone's just starting out, here I go with my 3 pieces of advice again.
Yeah, no, I love it.
3 pieces of advice would you give to someone starting out in this?
Oh my gosh. Well, have a really solid plan. It doesn't have to be a detailed plan, but you need to know, what you want to do and how you want to do it. Just stop overthinking it to death. just do it. You could always make like little changes as you go, but the actual starting it is the hardest part. And then I don't know, have found nothing but success and a lot of fun with forcing myself to do it live. I think it really holds me to a higher level of accountability, and it creates a better, more dynamic, engaging experience for viewers and allows for more immediate feedback as well. So it's, and because I've done it in this format, for both shows, it just means that, I need to show up. I can't say, that oh shoot, I'm not feeling the recording tonight, or, I don't want to do let's put off to later. Let's bulk record a whole bunch of episodes. It kind of forces me into a cadence and a rhythm and a routine, which I think makes the recording process easier all the way across.
Yeah, and I like the fact it helps build the community, and get people involved, and listening to what people want, that's huge, because now you can, do what you want to do on the show that will resonate with people. So
yeah, I never run out of topic ideas for either show because there's always questions that come up or people that suggest things, or you just get that immediate feedback. And I think it actually just makes the recording stronger as well. I mean, at least with me, I feel like when I'm recording something, you're so sort of a little bit more focused on the overall quality of the recording than you are on the audience, right? You're like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to pause that. We'll record again. Or, that didn't sound the way I wanted to. Can we re-record that? There's sort of this focus on the recording process more than the content itself or the actual user on the other end who will be consuming it and listening to it later. So I think from that perspective, it has helped me kind of get through a lot of the perfectionism. I was definitely the person that when I recorded videos, even now, I record it and I'm like, oh, that sounded dumb. I like delete it. Then I record again and I like shut it off halfway through. Or it's much harder for me, at least, to get all the way through a really good recording than it is a live stream, because there are people listening and watching, so you can't just stop and do it again, which I think is a little bit freeing.
I think also often when you sort of done it, you sort of watch it back, or you look at some of it and you go, it sounded so much better from an audience point of view than when you're actually doing it yourself. And I don't quite know why that is, but I often think that it's just, oh yeah, that actually sounded like I wanted it to, even if I was stumbling over a word or I'm not quite sure about what was going on.
Yeah. We all overthink it to death. Where we want it to be the best possible, especially since we're spending time and it's important to us. It's a project that we really want to see succeed. And as a result, I think that pause button and that re-record gives us permission to just waste a lot of time where we, it was good enough and we thought maybe it could be better. And so being live, I just think forces you to continue on your thoughts, even if they're not, even if they're filled with ums and pauses and whatever that are unpleasant to you, you're still getting that content out. And then later, if you want to record it again or get, or do some editing or, change it in some way, you can, but you've at least gotten the entire show done.
I think that's an important thing as well. I think with live streaming, people are more forgiving with the content, with the mistakes, with things, because it's more dynamic, as you said, and spontaneous. And recording stuff myself over and over and trying to get it right, you think, well, that first take was better, but maybe I can make it. And you go into this horrible circle of trying to get it right, and then 5 hours have gone by and you've recorded 20 minutes, and it's like, okay, well, I really need to stop now. So I do agree with you that I think forcing yourself to do more of the live streams and showing up, and even if you're streaming to nobody, you've always got to start somewhere, and it just gives you that confidence thing. So that's great. I had a quick question about the flow of your VHS club. You mentioned that you also do sort of a vertical recording, as you've mentioned, on the flow as well. Maybe just explain to the audience what you typically do. So is that the beginning of the show or the end of the show? You typically do your sort of vertical piece for a short or a repurposing or something like that.
It varies, and I am woefully behind on this. I'm going to give myself a pass, though. I'm okay. I'm behind on this for my personal pet project, so it's not even. Okay. It doesn't even matter the same way as other things do. But yeah, one of the kind of promotional videos that we do is I try to do a minute or less vertical video that's 3 things you might not know about that movie. And so it's just movie facts. So it's really, easy for people to kind of jump into and get a taste of what the show is like, and some, fun information they can talk about at cocktail parties or whenever they're out with friends. And so, I had been initially using Descript and Opus Clip and a bunch of these amazing AI-based tools to edit up our video and try to pull out like the best, most interesting thing that we had said. And it was taking a lot of time. And again, I'm a perfectionist. So for me, it was, I was dragging the video in, and then I was grabbing the transcript, and I was like cleaning up the transcript and trying to find like the best possible clip and being like, I don't know if that was it. And we say facts kind of sporadically throughout the episode, as they come up in conversation. So it wasn't really hitting what I wanted it to do, and it wasn't the length I wanted. And so I was like, oh, well, I could just record these like either before the episode or after, and then I can get them the exact, way that I want them. I already have the facts like ready to go. Cause again, I told you I've just had researched them and watched the movie, typically the night before or earlier that day. So usually I try to do it right before I jump on and do the tech check with Nat. I just change over in Ecamm to vertical. I have a scene that's kind of ready to go. I tend to just like reposition it a little bit. And then I record it. And it's nice because Ecamm shows like how long you've been recording for as well. So I can be like, oh, that's a minute, done. Sometimes I'm still bad, and I record those like 2 or 3 times because I'm like, no, that wasn't what I wanted to say. Or I went over a minute, or, see if I can get it lower in length, or, mess with it in one way or the other. But typically that's like max 5 minutes of recording time versus the 2+ hours I was spending trying to find the perfect thing I said in the full episode. And then I can upload it to YouTube. It pops up as a YouTube short, which is great because YouTube is constantly putting those out all over to people. And then I can use it also on TikTok and Instagram and all these different places. So it's a great, and someone, I think it was on Infulgence, had told me that, I can actually just set that up as a profile instead in Ecamm, and that I wouldn't have to tweak it. What I do now is I have it as a scene, so that I have to go in and then change it to vertical, and then I have to just make a few adjustments to like the positioning of it. But even that, it works pretty well. And then I just, change it back to wide when I'm ready to jump on and record the episode.
Yeah.
It's just a great way.
It's such a great tip. Yeah.
Sorry,
It's so easy. It's dumb that I did not think of it earlier. I was like, well, this is the way I have to do it. I need to record the episode first, and then I've got to, grab the most genius thing that I said. And it was like, I don't actually. I could just record this really quickly right now.
Sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's such a great tip. And also, I love those shorts. I learned a few things I had no idea that you did.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't know that. So, yeah, those are great. They're really great.
Yeah. And they're easy. Like, I would challenge it, if this is something that you want to do for your show, the format of that is what makes it easy. So I don't have to think about it. I'm like, okay, what are the 3 most interesting movie facts that I just researched, right? So whatever it is for your show. So maybe it's like, one thing you're going to learn in that episode, that's really important, or like you need to have sort of a format in mind so that the second you hit that record button, you're like, oh, what do I say? Like the fact that it's the 3 facts, I have them written out. I'm ready to go. I'm like, okay, literally just say these 3 things. And then it just becomes sort of second nature when I do them. I'm like, hey, it's Katie. I'm from the VHS Club. Here are 3 things you don't know about this movie. And that's it. That's all I have to say every episode. Part of it is planning and thinking through what works best for your show. And then part of it is just using the tools that you have to make it as easy and seamless as possible.
Guys, guess what we're doing on our Thursday meeting?
Yes.
One of the things, right? But yeah, what is easily repeatable every single time? There's always something that's easy for you to do and replicate every time.
No, it is a great idea because even for people we work with and things like that, they're doing the same thing they used to do. They're either going to put it in Descript or they'll put it in Opus. And why don't you just record it? And now, especially with Ecamm, as you said, just switch profile, do it, move on. Next scene. And
you can still, I still put, episodes through Opus and grab other awesome things. Great. That's more, vertical video. But this one's just something I know I can do for every single movie. And some weeks, as I said, I've missed. I have to backtrack and go. But I can easily go back at any point, pull up my, my sheet of facts for that movie and record it. I got to make sure that I'm wearing, if I want to bulk batch record them, I'll just change my shirt every time or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm like, will they notice if I'm on the same shirt? But
maybe.
But yeah, I think it's easy to do on a regular basis, or if you want to just do them, if you want to backtrack and do them as a batch recordings and then upload them, that is also fine. There's no rules around it.
Yeah, we're definitely learning stuff here, making notes as we go along and giving good tips and advice to everybody who's listening.
I'm learning, everyone. I'm picking up tips from what I see when I'm watching my favorite shows or listening to experts talk about what they do. So we're all learning from each other.
Definitely. We have a few hellos to you here. So we'll just, so Vincent.
Hey, Vincent.
Hello. How's it going? And I'm not sure who this person is. I keep forgetting the name, but yeah, we're not the cool kids, but thanks for joining anyway. So
speak for yourself.
Well,
we're the nerdy kids. We're hanging out with the nerdy kids.
Exactly, we're the nerdy kids. Take it. We had a couple of more questions for you before we let you go.
Sure.
I guess I can ask the next one. So we were just trying to work out your sort of personal balance. You've got a number of things that you're juggling in your life. Your personal life, obviously, family, Ecamm, chickens, VHS.
So many chickens.
Exactly. So how do you sort of balance your sort of professional responsibilities with your family life? And I know we hear a lot about burnout and people start with good intentions to record things and get things off the ground and go live and do all that good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so how do you juggle it, Katie? Because you've been doing this for a while now. So what's your secret?
I would love to tell you that I have a secret. I surround myself with amazing people. I live in a village of awesome people, way cooler than me. So I am lucky enough to work for a company that is so insanely generous and flexible with time. So there's, I'm never in trouble if I'm, making the decision to work from home for the day, or if I need the day off, or if I need to change my hours. No one is yelling at me for that. So just from the get-go, I have that level of flexibility, which is huge. I am married to an absolutely incredible partner who is like every bit as good at juggling as I am, and is always really generous with the fact that I'm like, oh, I have a live stream that just popped up, or I need to do this thing. And he's like, got it. No worries. Like, got everything covered. So I'm lucky to sort of be in a space where, I have lots of people that are helping to make my life easier, which is huge. And I'm getting better at all of it. Caleb and Doc would probably say I'm actually pretty bad at time management. I'm constantly over scheduling myself and them. So part of it is just having, people around you that are like, hey, remember last Friday where you were like, wow, that was too much? You're doing it again. You're doing it again to yourself. You need to take a break, or you need to space these out better, or you can't say yes to everything. It's hard. It's hard not to want to say yes to everything, especially when it's something you enjoy. So, I don't know, surround yourself with the best possible people. Try to balance things out on your calendar. Like, I live and die by my calendar, and sometimes I put too much on, and I have to kind of look at it and be like, well, that was bad. Don't do that again. But yeah, it's a juggling act, and I think a lot of my success has to do with the fact that I really love what I do, and I'm surrounded by some really incredible people. So none of it feels like work, and it all feels like fun. And for me, it's just a matter of trying not to say yes to every single thing that I want to do, because then I literally am going from one thing to the next back to back, and then I definitely do get tired, or I feel like I'm not my best self when I have too many things kind of back to back. But I don't think there's a magic bullet. I think it's hard. It's hard to try to juggle everything and, figure out how to do it all.
Well, I think we should thank you for that, because it's come through for what we do. I mean, we took this on as a passion project because we love being at Creator Camp, which came from all of you guys
which I
putting
love,
it all together. And also the fact, we've taken on another responsibility to sort of people that have started to follow us and started being part of it, but we do it because we love it. Like you say, it's the people, the personalities, the relationships that we all have, and I think it's very hard to sort of quantify that, but sort of everything that you do and it sort of fills out through all the people that are working through Ecamm and the community and the Ecamm Fam and everything. It really is a special group of people, and like I say, it's not just about the time, it's about how you're spending the time and the people you're spending with it, and I think that really kind of spills over into everybody that's involved in the company, really.
Yeah. And honestly, like I will say the one thing that I have gotten better at, and I think that this is hard for a lot of people, is it's okay to just be honest with where you're at. So, for example, for the VHS Club, there are some times where, like either I've had a really long day or a brutal day, or I'm traveling, or something's coming up, or Nat has something coming up, and we're like, hey, we're not going to record tonight. We'll see you next week. And we might decide that last minute, and that's okay for me. And I feel like, generally our listeners, our viewers get it. And we joke that we're live almost every Thursday. We're like, we have no promise that we're going to be there every single Thursday forever. Right. I think that's real. Like in the back of my head, I was like, oh, consistency matters, and, showing up at the same time every single week matters. And it does, but it's also not the end of the world if you can't make it work. And whether that's your professional, super important part of it, or or a passion project that's just for fun, I think being honest with where you're at and what you can handle is fine. I think what matters most is being able to communicate that, to clients, to team members, to family, to friends, and to your viewers and your listeners. So I'm trying to get better at that. Instead of being like, I'm going to kill myself to be there at 9:00, I'm like, tonight might not work out, and instead we'll be there tomorrow, or we're going to do, we're just going to skip this week and be back again next week. No, you're fine.
That was such good stuff you were saying.
I know. I don't know what I was saying.
I was riveted.
Don't move. No one will know.
We sorry about the stream dropping. I don't know if we can check if we're still back live. I think we are back live. So apologies.
Yeah, it says
it's back.
It says one. Yeah, it says
it
one
says
person
watching, and I see video like a dad's stream dropped comment.
Yeah.
All right, we
We're
are
back.
back.
Thank you,
Thank
Marcus.
you, Marcus.
Thank you.
See, and again, the power
Marcus
of Ecamm, just to recover from a dodgy, thanks Elon, dodgy Starlink satellite. But it's live, right? Anything can happen. And sometimes does. So I've got a little bit of editing to do now, so that's fine. We'll just join them together. And I didn't want to do any post-production. There you go. But that's fine. That's fine. I was just saying that take on board what you say about the not overcommitting. It's very easy in a corporate world to just be overwhelmed. I know Doc doesn't like that, but it does feel like it's too much work to deal with and to cope with. So I had a colleague that used to say, you have to be kind to ourselves. You can just say no to that particular commitment, or if you don't feel like it, then stop doing that. And the people that love you and want to join you week in, week out, will easily forgive you if there's a glitch or a week off that you want to do, or something that you can't commit to. And those are the real people that will come back all the time. That's why. Yeah. That's why we love this community, where people are just so nice, so kind, and we'll just stick with you. And that's the thing. And we're trying to do this here by building up a small community based on the wonderful people of the Ecamm Fam. So we thank you all for rejoining us back on this live stream.
Yes, thank you.
Goodness me. Welcome back. I think there's one last question. Did you want to finish that question off, Lisa, for Katie?
Actually, Katie beautifully just.
Did she already
that's
say?
usually
She didn't say that. Yeah, she did.
You just gave us a
done. Yeah.
No, it's just to have that good, healthy mindset and enjoy what you're doing. Find the joy in it, because if you don't, it's not fun,
No.
So make it fun.
Yeah, I love it. I think also it's partly.
It's hard.
What, Mark?
Sorry, I was sorry, I didn't want to cut you off there. It's the fact that the thing about the live streaming in the community is really important, because it's like if you were meeting people for drinks or they're your friends and they're part of your life, I think we have that relationship, and that's what this virtual version of it is the same thing. And I think, like I say, the communication's key. But to be able to say, I know we had a drink planned, but we can't make it because of this, you go, yeah, that's fine. Of course, we'll do it for next week. And I think having that same mindset, like I say, really does work.
Yes.
Yeah. It is really freeing. And I think it's, I don't know, even just the 2 podcasts that I'm doing now has been really great from just a learning perspective. So one of the challenges that I really had that I'm getting better at is sort of this follow through. It's I really want to learn how to do this thing, but I'm juggling all these different hats and I'm doing all these different things. And so it's I'll watch the tutorials for that later, or I'll dive into that software later. I'll learn more how to do that later. And so forcing yourself to commit to a show that requires you to be in the software once a week or whatever the frequency is really helped me actually carry that through and learn how to do those things. So if you're out there and you're I wish that I could learn how to use Ecamm better, or I wish I could learn how to use Opus better, or whatever all these different softwares are, the best way to do it is to just force yourself into using it every single week. And you're going to keep learning more and more tricks on how to do it, and, different features and different things just by doing it on a regular basis and practicing. So that was a huge game changer, as we like to say at Ecamm. For me, it was if I want to know how to be better at video podcasting, I'm just going to have to do it. I'm just going to have to do it and, discover what those questions are and learn what I don't know and push the buttons and try the things. And it's the only way that I'm going to actually learn and be able to speak with any authority on it, is to actually be part of that community and be doing it on a regular basis.
I think it's important with that is learning what you need to know to get the show done, instead of trying to learn everything at once. And so that's important.
100%.
I was going to say the same thing. It's just, just get the things out there, and then you can learn it later. And you've got such a great community to ask those difficult, taxing questions about at a later stage. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we have your socials. Now, I got the last lot wrong before. So hopefully I've got all your socials right. This is where, if you want to get in touch with Katie, if there's any mistakes, Katie, you can beat me up later.
Oh, it's all a mistake. It's fine. It looks great. No, it looks great. I'm just joking.
I've got somebody else's name up there. It's all gone horribly wrong. I'm just kidding. So
I'm pretty easy to find, actually, because I have a weird spelling of my last name, and and Ecamm is obviously easy to find because it's a different, its own word. So yeah, I'm not hard to stalk. You can find me anywhere.
And stalk we will. So just see if there's any other great comments. So thanks, Marcus, for saying we're back. Yeah. So some great tips. People are saying they love the tips.
Thank you.
From you. So yeah, it's great. Great. Katie, it's been amazing to have you on the show. We do appreciate all your support you've given us and this community, and this family is just going to keep growing, and we're doing our best to tell the people about Ecamm and how great it is and what support we have here. So it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and you're very welcome to join and keep in the chat for a little bit. And we have a quiz coming up that you may know something about. I'm just going to give you the top tip right there to see what it's about. But yeah, I think we don't have anything else for Katie right now. We shall let her just chill for a little bit.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Katie, for your time.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we'll see you very soon. Take it easy.
Thanks.
Thank you, Katie,
Thanks,
for
everyone.
joining us today.
Bye, Katie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Wonderful. What a wonderful guest. So
Fantastic.
we have a few comments. Let's bring us this comment. I don't know what was going on with the poor thing. So we've got a few tips here. Oh, this has gone small again. Let me fix this.
Doing it on the fly.
And if you want to learn more about Ecamm, you can learn about what we're doing right now on the show. Let's see how else we've got. Hey, Daryl. So I didn't know your name, so thanks for saying who you are. It's not always easy to know who people are. Thank you, Daryl. Marcus, we are back. And Daryl did say a good point, actually. This Ecamm Fam is by far the most incredible community of awesome people, and it is, and we're learning all the time from each other, and there's no wrong questions here. We can help each other out all the time. So what's next on the show, Lisa? It is.
I'm going to say, hey, Ecamm, Ecamm Live. I see you there. Hey.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Thank
you.
Oh, and you're so tiny again. That's just there it is.
From different scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
We should probably mention, shouldn't we, that we wanted this channel to be for the fam, as it were. So if you're in the chat, you want to tell us what you're up to, where you are, share anything that you've been doing this week or whatever, do, because we want it to be about you. It's not just about us, is it?
No. As much as we'd like it to be, it is all about you guys, and that's why we put this show together in the first place. So yeah, anything that you want to share, and we've got a lot of places. Oh, hey, Katie. Yes, it is Katie in the chat, of course. And there's lots of obviously things that you can get involved with, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. Ladies rule and boys drool. All right. We're going to ask you about that when you're on our show.
You're making our questions easy, Dan.
Exactly, Dan.
Oh, brilliant.
All right. Shall we, where are we? Let's do, I'm so confused right now to that comment.
Go
ahead, sorry.
Yeah,
it's time to be sensible.
This is when the show goes all off the rails.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is why our meetings last about 4 hours.
It's true, because yes, there's a lot of laughing and everything. Why don't we do a quiz? Do the quiz. Why not? Do the quiz.
We'll do the quiz first, and then we'll do the merch on the perch. So let's do. Let's get rid of that. Let's do a quiz. But we have a couple of more comments. Let's just bring in a couple of quick comments, and then we'll do that. So Daryl says, "I'm using it for recording and getting ready to push myself live soon. Do it. Yeah. And if you want to join us here on the show, just to test things out, to check things, whatever you want to do, you can come and join us. So no worries, you can do that. Let's get on with the quiz. So this is the way the quiz works. We have questions that come
and
up,
answers.
Obviously, and answers.
Brilliant.
Simple. And that's all you need to know. So we've got a little bit of a delay, as you know, with YouTube. So we're going to put up the question. We're going to give you the question. We're going to give you the 4 answers, and it's just A, B, C, or D. And all you have to do in the comments is put the letter that corresponds to the right answer. And if you get the right answer, you will get nothing, but you will get at least a little bit of appreciation from us, and do that. So shall we start with the first question? I think you're up.
Yes,
Lisa,
let's do it.
First question.
Let's do it. Who had the hit single with Everything I Do. And I'm not going to sing it, but Everything I Do. Justin Bieber, Michael Bublé, C, Bryan Adams, or D, Shawn Mendes.
All right. I don't even know who Shawn Mendes is, but he's Canadian. So
there was a theme. There was a
theme. There was a plan. There was a theme. So, yes, put your answers in there. Oh, Marcus has already come up with a answer. Let's have some more. You've got a little bit of time.
If you don't know, you can guess. You never know.
Take a guess.
Maybe Neil or Mark will sing the song.
Maybe.
If somebody gets it right. If somebody, oh, well. Whoa, wait a second.
Wow.
Wait, whoa.
The stakes have gotten higher, guys.
Wow. Oh, everybody's like, oh, yeah, right. We'll give you a bit more time. So,
this is exciting.
The winners get the merch item of their choice. So, I'm going to leave you a bit more. I'm saying, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I wrote the questions.
Well, now there's a prize. I might put the answer in myself.
All right. So first off, the answer is
C.
Of course,
Bryan Adams.
C. Bryan Adams. So let's have a look through the list of wonderful people. Katie, you might be regretting having said that at the moment. So let's see. We've got Marcus with a very small answer, and it's C. So, Marcus, you are a winner. So we have to make a note. We've got this recorded, so we know who's the winner. So, Marcus, you get some Ecamm merch of your choice. And also, Daryl, Bryan Adams, you are right. No answering yourself. Exactly. From Robin Hood, indeed. From Robin Hood. So, you are also a winner. So, 2 people. Congratulations to Marcus and to Daryl. So, yeah, lots of Ecamm merch coming your way. Yes.
Katie, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you.
Should have answered the question myself. Should have come in as a pseudonym. But anyway, all right. So, question number 2 is over to you.
Oh, yeah, here we go. So, which actor debuted in the 1988 Christmas movie Die Hard? A. Alan Rickman. B. Will Atherton. C. Alex Goodenough, we think. D. Bonnie Bedeville.
Exactly. And
I know it was a lot of we think.
Yes, we think. And Katie, thank you to you for this question, because I watched this on one of your VHS clubs. So we're going to give people 35 minutes now to go and rewatch the VHS club episode so they can get the right answer. And we'll see you back in 30 minutes. Oh, no, 30 seconds.
Okay,
so there you go.
I'm going to ask the question, is it a Christmas movie?
Oh,
because that's the point of contention on the VHS show.
Lisa,
is it
you
really
have opened up a can of worms there.
No, we need to open worms.
I like the way you left it till after Katie had finished chatting to us.
Exactly. And I didn't do the winners thing, did I?
That's right. We've got 2 questions.
We've got 2 questions.
It's
we
okay.
can do that.
Yeah.
All right. So the answer's coming up right now, and we don't have anybody. Oh, okay. So we have one person saying Will Atherton. We'll give you a couple of more minutes, seconds to come in with an answer. Have a guess, anybody. Have a guess. Oh, Katie's already put the hashtag Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
That.
It is
That's
indeed.
That's a good hashtag.
It is a good hashtag. I think you should keep that one, Katie, and use that. That's fantastic. Love it.
Katie, I was just trying to stir the pot. That's all.
Well done. Bravo. Anybody out there who's going to have another stab, no pun intended, of the answer. All right. Definitely a Christmas movie, at least our house. Great. Nice one, Daryl. So I don't think anybody's got the answer right, and the answer was...
Whoa.
Exactly.
A. Alan Rickman. And
mind blown.
We had no idea. We thought he was famous at that point, but maybe just because we've seen him in so much after.
Yes.
Where's our little sad man? There he is.
Nobody, thank you, Lisa. Nobody got the answer right. So no Ecamm merch for you. But we did have winners before, and we'll do that. Oh... Sorry, Dan, but you're far too late. And also, wrong. So anyway, not to worry. It was Alan Rickman. Yeah, see, now you know. There you go. Of course, Katie, if they watched your show, they would have known. And that's the rules. All right, last question coming up. What is the maximum number of guests you can have in Ecamm? Is it A, 4, B, 8, C, 10, D, 6? You have 30 seconds to answer, and you should know this, you Ecamm people. So let's see what kind of answers you come up with, because there could be a couple Oh dear. Yes, you did miss Katie's episode there, and that's a shame. And I must fix these comments. There you go. It all comes in. All right. So, what you're saying there, Dan? I'm listening, not looking. Didn't even see. Oh, Daniel Cheese come in with C. Oh, Daniel. Are you allowed to come in and answer? But thank you for joining us. Oh, Video Like a Dad C. Oh, lots of people coming in. Yeah, everyone wants some free Ecamm merch, Katie.
But is it a trick question?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. All right. So the answer is coming up very soon. You have a few more seconds. Oh, what happened there? It just popped straight in. And the answer is, I'll do it again. There you go. It's C, 10. No. On an older Mac, and Daniel wins, obviously, something. Katie, you would have to see whether Daniel does qualify for some Ecamm merch. So, Daniel, you get it anyway. You are a winner, clearly.
You're on the list. That's the thing. You're on the winners board.
Absolutely, you're on the winners board. Marcus has a good point. A on older Mac. So, Marcus is also a winner because he knows his stuff. Yeah. So, Katie, does that mean he gets 2 pieces of merch? I'll let you guys fight that out between.
Or just a bigger shirt.
just a bigger shirt. Yeah, chicken dinner, exactly. Well done, Daniel. You get any merch that you want. Exactly. Who else? And thank you. So, Marcus, Daniel, Vincent, and Daryl. Daniel, you get something.
There you go. Wow.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, good. And absolutely, everyone did get this one down. Thanks, Katie. They should know it, right? There you go. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for the quiz. Let's get back to us.
Should we try and do a stream with 10 guests? Should we try that?
Yeah.
Should we do it?
What? No.
Not now, but I don't think you're starting to do it.
No, exactly.
But if everyone in the chat suddenly wanted to join, we could get in and test them out. Maybe in another week we'll do that.
Exactly.
Try and get everyone in.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
We have so many big plans, guys. We've got remote
Maybe we should talk about it first before we announce it live. But
Lisa's like in the
Thursday meeting.
Send him back to England. Send him back to England.
Yeah, he's going back tomorrow. Trust me. I'm making sure he gets on that plane. Anyway, shall we have a quick look at merch on the perch?
Yes, let's have a little merch on the perch.
So our merch on the perch featurette is where you guys can send in your Ecamm merch like this. Lisa's got something somewhere else, but basically, if you can send a picture of your merch into us, then we will feature it on the show. Now, nobody's actually sent anything in yet, so you guys, yeah, sorry, Marcus is maybe chuckle here. 10 guests would be chaos unless you are masterful hosts. What are you trying to say, Marcus? Is this not good enough? Is this not as good as it gets? Is this what you're saying?
So I'll be back to hosting next time. It'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah. Disappointingly whelmed. Disproportionately whelmed.
Disproportionately
overwhelmed. Yeah, I did. That would be chaos. We'll see. We're going to talk about it. We're not saying anything at the moment. We're going to talk about it. Anyway, merch on the perch is... Lisa has spoken.
We have been told.
We have been told, yeah. Let's keep... yeah.
Someone commented I'm not talking enough. They don't hear me on their Thursday meetings. You can't shut me up. Too many ideas floating around.
We'll live stream the next Thursday meeting. You decide.
Yeah, we should, because it's quite funny.
So merch on the perch, this is where you can send in your pictures of your merch and we will feature it. And today's first merch on the perch is Mark. Sporting.
Mark, where are you?
Yeah, where are you,
That's
Mark?
in my local park.
Are you on a swing?
Yeah. You can have loads of people there, and you can sort of just ride it, swing away.
That scares me. But
Isn't this for children? Or
not that day?
Not that day. Clearly, you kicked them all off. Like, I need to photograph people. I need to photograph people.
Well, I told my daughter. She took it, and I said it's all content, and then she just laughed at me.
Oh, right. So real quick, just to clarify, Dan actually said that he was happy that you were speaking more this time, Lisa. So there you go. There you go.
Oh no, thank you. I wasn't. Thank you. I'm gonna stop.
And Daniel's commented on your camera. Is Lisa using a look looking fire? I don't know, Daniel, but it is looking good.
If you saw how I had pieced this together, because I'm not at my house in LA, there's like clothespins and paper clips. Now I'm kidding. Thank you.
Fantastic.
I appreciate
Katie,
that.
you have wonderful, lots of merch on the perch to send. Yes, you do. So just take pictures. Just do it. We love merch on the perch. And if Daniel is here patrolling the Facebook pages, all right, yeah. Who is? I don't know. It's chaos, Dan, over at the Facebook side at the moment. It's complete chaos.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Lisa's image.
Where's our...
Looking good. Sorry, second image coming up. This is yours, Lisa. This is your picture today. Look at that. You are on mute. Looking good. And this is a new piece of merch for you, right?
Yeah. I got a whole thing going on. It was fun. Great merch.
Wonderful. And if you want to get your own merch, I should have a call to action somewhere here, but I probably don't. So it is merch.ecamm.com, isn't it? I think is the link to get your merch. And I don't know if the discount is still going, Katie, so I'm not going to say if it is.
I think it is. I think it is.
All right. Nice one. Okay. And Daniel, again, is loving, like, if this is a temporary location, Lisa, you need to stay there. And you do.
Daniel, I'm actually moving from here. Just making me very sad now, but thank you.
Wonderful. All right. So let's go back to us. So here we are still, and people are still with us, which is great. What's next, Lisa? I can't remember.
You're asking me?
Okay. It's the creative showcase.
Don't we all have the run of show here? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we do.
It is the creative showcase.
We have a run of show. Oh, right.
We do have a run of show. Gotta have a run of show.
So thank you, Katie. So Ecamm Fam still gets you a discount. And Katie, unfortunately, I have to talk to you about my recent merch purchase, but we'll take that offline. But that's all good. It's all good. It's not bad. All right, let's go to Creator Showcase. And we are showcasing 3 people. So this is where we take 3 members of the Ecamm Fam, whether they've been to Creator Camp or not, it doesn't matter. It's basically you guys that we want to showcase and just give people an idea about what you do and where to find you. And I'll briefly go through these from left to right. So Martin McKenna. Martin has been in the Facebook group many times recently. You'll have seen him showing you how to do all kinds of amazing overlays, different workflows, all contained within Ecamm. You don't actually have to do anything outside. He's created a bunch of these things himself for purchase and a lot of stuff for free as well. So head over to streamprofiles.selfie.store. I can never say that. Selfie.store, where you can get some cool Ecamm pre-canned overlays and profiles ready to get you up and running if you just want to set yourself up. And then we've got David, and David is an accomplished piano player, and his mission is to help people see how profoundly music can change the human experience. And he's basically got a YouTube channel that he plays some wonderful chill out tunes that you can just listen to and start your day off well. And you basically goes live several times per week. And then we've got Tatiana, who's helping adjunct professors create dynamic college classrooms, both online and in person. She does a lot of shorts, repurposing the content that she does from her pre-recorded material. And you can find her at Tatiana Teaches. So creative amplifiers for the people, if I only had that sound bite. But there you go.
Do we have some applause? Do you have an applause sound?
I could do a win. They're all winners, right? There you go. That works. That works, I think. We have a few more comments coming in. Keep the comments coming. We love this. I'm going to go through
this comment because it just made me laugh.
Which comment, sorry?
Don't run the Marcus at the very bottom. If you don't run the show will run you.
That's good advice, Marcus.
Absolutely.
How much do you charge for training, Marcus? Because we could do with some.
Dan, I don't think that gold mug is that small. I've got mine as well. I mean, it's not as big as that sort of, 85-ounce coffee mug that has been dotted around, but it depends how much you like coffee. There you go. So, yeah. As soon as I get family, you can thank you for prompting us. Where can you set? Great question. We have the answer for that somewhere. If I can find my right button. I can't find it. It's not on here. I will put it on here instead. 1 second.
It's not on your stream deck, Neil?
I've run out of buttons. But there you go. How you can get involved? Well, you can be a guest. Send us your merch on the perch. Tell us about your show. You can go to the Linktree Creative Amplifiers. So if you just scan that QR code, it will take you to a banking site where you can deposit as much money as you like. No, actually just takes us straight to the link tree and you can just send in. We also have an email address as well. I think we're all here. Nominate or be a guest on our show. You can nominate somebody else, people that you don't like. Just nominate them. We don't mind. Just send them over to us and we'll have them on the show. You can get in touch with us at Creative Amplifiers. And speaking of... Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it's like QR code to get you to LA.
Yeah, it's really, you just buys you a ticket automatically to go to LA. It's fantastic.
So it's just in our name.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was able to get to Portugal, but we're both trying to get the Brits over to LA to have a live show with Lisa.
We're trying to do a live show at my house.
Absolutely. That's the next one. We're going to plan that. We'll definitely do something. And speaking of wonderful next guest on our show is Dan. Dan is in the audience today, and Dan will be with us.
Yay, Dan.
In 2 weeks' time, and we have some interesting questions for you, Dan, especially for some of these comments you've been making. So we've got a long list of stuff that we will do today. Wow. Is that almost the show wrapped up, Lisa?
I think that's all, the run of show, according to my little iPad here. We've done it all.
Wow. Yeah. Really? In record time. Actually, not in
record time.
Nearly. With a glitch in the middle as well. And
but you know what? We'll stitch it up in post and it's all good.
Exactly. And, with the power of Ecamm, we were able to keep going. It sort of interrupted a little bit, but otherwise it was fantastic. Any other comments from anybody else? I think
we're pretty much there. So just make sure you go to the link tree. That's the most important thing, where you can just click straight through to our email or Instagram, and then you can send us all your merch on your perch and just, keep the conversation going in between now and our next live stream.
Exactly.
Yes,
and just so you know where to get in touch with us, this is where we are. Absolutely. And thank you, everybody, for joining today. It's been a blast. It's been a pleasure having Mark here.
Thank you so much. There's been a great hospitality for the last few days.
And thank you.
You've got a lot to do.
And it's been fun watching you guys on Instagram, having so much fun without me. Thank you.
Well, we feel so bad, and we do appreciate, Lisa, that you did the run of show and everything for us today and kept this show on point, particularly when you're faced with a potential flood out there. So fun. Thanks a lot for everybody, and we will we'll put in one last comment. If the comments will come up here, thank you so much.
Right over Lisa's face.
Right, but no, I'll just sorry. Give me some time. Give me some time. We're working in it's a dynamic environment, people. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks with Dan. If you've got any questions for Dan, you can always send them on the email.
Yes.
It was great. Katie, thank you so much for sticking with us till the bitter end, and we appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you. See you soon. Bye. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye.